When I was 10, I began researching the martial arts and found that there were very few in my area. Now there are many. Martial arts to me at that age was a fantasy. It was something that I didn't think I could do. As a young kid, I didn't have the money. I had the size, I had the height. I was a male. I was privileged to a point because I lived in America and had the freedom to travel. When I got older, I realized that it had nothing to do with any of those things. I found that I was projecting fear into why I couldn't do the martial arts. My internal weaknesses, my internal lack of confidence way back then was forcing me to give reasons and excuses why I couldn't do martial arts. But I loved it. I obsessed over them. I still do. The martial art that I train in now, Budo, Japanese Budo, was the only one that I found that was the whole package. I started in karate, which was a very masculine, powerful art, has wonderful traits about it, but it lacked certain things for me. Studied Aikido, Kung Fu, other arts, and they all had wonderful, wonderful aspects about them, but the ones that I did study were lacking something, and that was the confidence building. That was the mind science that I was looking for. And then in the 80s, when the ninja boom hit, when it went from Kung Fu, the David Carradine, the Kung Fu theater, Bruce Lee was around, and then you had the ninja boom of the 80s, and that was it. As soon as I saw that ninja in 1981, watching the miniseries Shogun, I was hooked forever. I was absolutely hooked, and that's what I wanted to do. Even though back then as a kid it was a fantasy of mine, I sought it out, and that's when I found teachers that could teach me the art. Back then we had no internet, no computer, or terrible computers, so the only way you could find this art was to find a magazine or a book and hope that it had some sort of seminar information halfway across the country. It was hard to get the information back then. Now it's easy. Now it's all over the internet. There are books, videos you can learn from, teachers around the corner. This art was the only one I found that was the total package. It had all of the unarmed self-defense that I was looking for, the punching, the kicks, the joint locks, the throws, the ground fighting, the stand-up fighting. It also had the mental part. It had how to deal with danger, how to curb stress, how to build the confidence, how to be successful in life. It taught me the keys to happiness and what to avoid so that I didn't become depressed or lonely. It taught me how to love myself and how to be compassionate for others. It taught me about service to my community and my world at large. It had all of the weapons I could ever imagine in it. The staves, the sticks, the knives, the guns. It had everything. It taught me how to be a fully actualized human being, someone who wasn't going to be a shadow in someone else's life, someone who wasn't going to be overlooked, someone who wasn't just going to be a watcher in life. I was going to be a doer. I wasn't going to be the guy on the sideline. I was going to be the adventurer and eventually the leader of that group. I was going to be a mountain climber rather than someone that just draws the mountain. And this art had everything. It served me well. And the older that I get, the more I know it is the art of intelligence. It is the art of how to get through life skillfully. Not hurting other people, but by bringing other people up. Every day I'm floored by the challenges that this art provides me, the challenges that I go through every single day on the mat. And always realizing, sometimes in the hardest of lessons, that I am always a student more than a teacher. That I can't possibly master everything that this art has to offer. That I'm always going, I'm always striving to be just a little bit better than I was yesterday. And to know that the further along the path that I go, and the more people I have behind me on the mountain, how to learn how to turn around and help them up. How to turn around and help my fellow mankind. How to turn around and see others and help them fulfill their goals and their dreams as my teachers did to me many decades ago. In a few weeks I'm going to Japan to train with people who I admire, who have turned around on their mountain peak to throw the rope down to me and said, "Come, we will teach you the ways, we will teach you our mistakes and how not to make them. We will teach you more about life in 2 weeks than you could learn in 2 years sitting in your bedroom watching a computer screen. We will teach you how to take hold of life and do the best that you can with what you have." That's the key to reality. That's the key to happiness, is knowing my weaknesses, but not living with them. Knowing my strengths and knowing now how not to have to use them to bring about the results I need in life. This martial art is so rich, so powerful, that I feel so honored to sit in the shadow of its awe and just know truly an awesome martial art like this is something that I'm humbled about every single day. And just to know I have a small little brick in that wall to give back to my community with what little I know is, to me, a life well worth living.